right, Coyote Nation. Well, welcome back to episode number 7 of the Stat Show on, of course, the Coyote Football Network. Following, I think, just only way to describe it was a wild night out in Prosper. But first and foremost, we are brought to you by Farmers Bank and Trust. Shout out to Dan and Idan and Joyce and Mila and their whole crew over there. They will make sure to get all of your banking needs taken care of. Really great people. They want the very best for the community. So if you're looking for banking institution, go hit them up. You will not be disappointed by Farmers. I'm Blake Grundy.
Hey, guys, I'm Phil Morgan. We have had this season, some pretty good highs.
Yeah.
I think last night might feel pretty low. You walk away with a pretty marquee matchup, and we fall just short. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's hard to say that, right? I'm going to jump right in here up front as we discuss the game. It's hard to say that when we've got a 3-score lead that we fell just short. And I think that's probably, for me, one of the most difficult to grasp, with a 21-point lead. And I think you and I talked about it. Even a field goal at some point with that lead would have probably been enough to tip the scales. But, I mean, credit to Walnut Grove. I mean, we're not haters here. These are kids playing this game when it's all said and done. Credit to Walnut Grove for finding a way to claw back and to take the victory. I don't like it. I don't have to like it. But it's what they did, and our guys didn't have an answer. I mean, 21 straight unanswered points. 28, actually. Yeah, you're right. 28 unanswered points.
Sorry to make it even worse.
Sorry. 28 unanswered points, and that's something that has to be accounted for, right?
They showed a heart of a championship team on Friday night for sure, right? That's kind of one of the questions that all of the DFW pundits were putting out there is, well, Walnut, let's see who Walnut Grove is. They haven't played the toughest schedule coming in. We know they have an explosive offense. That's obvious. We know they have a defense that's willing to fight. But what will happen when they get punched in the mouth, for to use a boxing terminology? And I feel like we delivered that up until the 3-minute and 40-something second mark of the third quarter when we went up 38-17. And it was kind of, the question was, Walnut Grove, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and
they answered in tremendous ways, and so credit to Walnut Grove, credit to Coach Allison and his staff. And here's what I know, and to me it's going to be similar to the Melissa conversation, right? The losses and the failures are sometimes and oftentimes where you learn the most about yourself and where you have the greatest opportunity to grow from them.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
And so the question for our players is, what steps will you take to not let something like this happen again? To develop that championship killer mentality. We have the players to play with Walnut Grove. We have the players to play with Melissa. We have the players to play with teams in the state. But you have to become a killer.
You got to
put the game away when it's time.
You got to put a foot on the throat. I know that's the term that gets floated around behind the scenes all the time. But it's a violent, hard game. It's emotionally difficult. We knew going into this. I agree with you. I said it going in. This is going to be very Melissa-esque, right? Their personnel brought that up. You knew that Cam Newton was going to be a force. Hayes Hackney was going to be a force for the game. We knew that going in, and they willed it too. They found their way.
They made the timely plays in the moments that they had to have them, and a touchdown or a field goal at any point, I think, during that run kind of puts it back out of reach and maybe changes the dynamics of the game. They're not able to take 4 or 5 minutes to drive anymore, things like that. But it is what it is. This is a learning opportunity.
Up until that fourth quarter, we were absolutely masterminds from a possession standpoint.
Yes.
Limiting their opportunities. I want to give some credit to our coaches there because they minimized Walnut Grove's opportunities to the best of their ability.
Yep.
And we had long drives. Somebody said, gosh, they're starting on their 5. And I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of what Anna does. We can start on our 5 and we'll march down the field and chew up time and we'll limit the opportunities of the opponent. I thought it was good. I thought there was some really good signs in this game. I think there's some good takeaways. Mm-hmm. I'm always the Doom Pod guy. I will off camera, I spin and I spiral. But the reality is that there are some great takeaways. There's some moments where these young men, I think, are going to have to look in the mirror and say, who am I? What kind of player am I? What am I going to be?
Yeah.
Because this isn't the end for us. The silver lining is, we're going to be in the playoffs. This team will be in the playoffs.
Yeah. So we basically know our seeding now for the playoffs. We know the next 3 games are not nearly as tough as what we've just played for the most part in our schedule.
Yeah, we've run the gauntlet.
And I already know that there's going to be a coaching staff that's already up in their feels on this show, and we'll get to that in the outro.
We'll wear their T-shirt next week.
We'll get to that in the outro. So go ahead and be in your feels if you need to be.
All right. Or actually, you know what? I haven't said this in a couple weeks, but this is your opportunity. I'm going to pause and give this warning that if you're an opposing team, coach, player, whatever, and you want to get your feelings hurt by our homer mentality, by our unapologetic bleeding purple, you can leave. You can click away right now and not watch. It's that easy. It's that easy, fellas. Just don't watch if you're gonna get your feelings all hurt. That's it.
And another note: quit trying to relate football to basketball. Quit trying to relate what I talked to on this podcast about how I will perform on a basketball court. I talked to 2 coaches in Prosper last night. They're like, "We'll see you in our gyms come basketball season."
Nice.
Like yes, you will, and I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So that's if you know, you know. If you don't, come ask me, and I'll tell you off camera.
That's right.
But so yes, it's a matter of hey, this is a growth opportunity. Will you take the growth opportunity? Because we've said it, we've talked about it. Coach Parr has said it. It's you want to win every game you play. That's part of being a competitor. You and I are as competitive as they come. I feel like we don't like to lose. We want to win. We want to win. We want to win. But when you do lose, are you going to learn and turn something around from that? And if they do, this is a positive because it's not about September and October. It's about November and December. And being a finished product in November and December during Golden Ball season, not about week number 7 or week number 8 of the regular season.
Right.
You want to continue to be growing and building. Yeah. And my hope is that our boys are going to be like, yes, we're locked in. We're going to grow. These next 3 weeks, we're going to grow and just get better. We're not going to take it light because our opponent isn't Walnut Grove the next 3 weeks.
I mean, light it up. Light it up. Like if there's anything you learned from last night, light it up. Play your best. Every play in front of you, play the absolute best because what you've done is what you've done. That's in the past, right? Mm-hmm. That's over. Now you've got to be focused on what you can do. Because that's the problem. Sometimes I think you get in these situations, you're like, hey, we're cruising. Look at us. Big game. Look what we've done. Look at our resume. We've gone through almost finished the gauntlet. Who cares? Right? I've heard this, and I was preaching. I'm going to tell a story. Story time with Phil. You ready? I'm preaching, and I have a particular passion for college football and a team in specifically.
You do?
I'm preaching, and our worship leader follows another team. At the time, he followed another team that was a rival, and my team lost. I've had that happen. You're going to have that happen. But as I'm getting ready to preach, getting my notes in order, getting stuff ready to go, he's walking off the stage, leans over, whispers in my ear, "You're only as good as your last game." And I mean, it was perfectly timed. I loved it. In the end, it was hilarious. Like, okay, fair enough. You got me. I can't respond. You give me no opportunity to say anything. Look, you're only as good as your last game. And I've thought about that phrase a lot since then, right? Because that says a lot. But the reality is what do you do with it? If you lost it, it's all about what you do. Do you let that loss define you, or do you step into the right mentality, the champion mentality? Look, Walnut Grove is undefeated. They walked in thinking they were going to be undefeated at the end of the night. And they walked out undefeated. That's it. Simple. I mean, I think it's that simple, right? They just knew who they were, and they were going to prove it. Now we've got to decide, who are we as a team? Who are the Coyotes? What's their makeup? Who's the leader? Who's going to stand out? Who's going to call them out? Who's going to show by their actions what we are? Because here's the reality is we're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah. Locked into the 3 seed right
Locked
now.
into the 3 seed.
Unless disaster strikes and we just lose the last 3 games of the regular season.
We're going to edit that out.
But we're locked in. But we're locked in the 3 seed. We can't get 1, and we cannot get 2 now.
I'm not superstitious, so that doesn't matter. But anyway, yes, you're right. We're going to be in the playoffs.
So, yeah.
And it gives you an opportunity to kind of redefine some stuff when those moments come. But you can't do it based on what you were. You've got to take everything that you've gone through now, and you got to put it all together, get back out on that field, and rise to the occasion. Be the person that you know, the player that you know that you can be, right? Be that team, right? But it starts with individual players. It doesn't start with that guy or that side of the ball or that particular phase of the ball. It starts right here with me. You got to be accountable to yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping today is all about for these guys. Is they're thinking, how am I accountable to me first? How do I get better? How do I make this team better? What did I do wrong? Where can I step up? Right? Where can I learn? Where can I be teachable? Where can I show humility? Where can I serve my brothers? How can I be complimentary? Because that's a lot of what I didn't see. I mean, there were flashes of some complimentary football, right? But it was very disjointed last night. In the end, and maybe that's a fair word, disjointed.
Yeah, it's certainly at times. At
times, not the whole night.
Yeah, at times. I mean, there's a reason we got up 38-17. It can't all be doom and gloom. We were up by 21 points and in complete control of the game. You know what I mean? So certainly we were doing something right for 2.5 quarters.
So it begs the question, right? And this is we are afforded the luxury of looking at social media. Right, which I don't think our players should. I hope they stay away. But we're afforded the luxury of social media. And somebody said, the Coyotes fell asleep. They went to sleep. They got this big lead and then cruised.
Social media, may have been my text to you.
Well, social media it was saying the same thing. So that's going to be something that these guys have to wrap their head around. Did we fall asleep? And I'm not a coach. You're not a coach.
They'll look at the game film. They'll break it down. We have one of the best coaching staffs in the state of Texas. I have
down.
No doubts about that. And so, I've got all the confidence in the world in them. Real quick, can we shift to something peripheral to the game?
Do it.
I'm going to title this segment, Where's the Beef?
Where's the beef?
And here's my beef. Professor Diggs, you were at the game, brother. You got a selfie with this man, but you wouldn't come find me. I'm the one that you post the meme of me side-eyeing you on the camera all the time, but you won't come find me? Were you running? No, I just, all jokes aside, hey, Professor Diggs, we respect what you do, but also you got to quit picking against Anna, man. Every once in a while, you got to pick us.
There was a time where I'm like, man, just come see us. Now that he's been to a game and we lost that game, it's like, I don't know.
Stay away?
Maybe it's time to stay away.
Stay far.
I don't know, man. Look, it was a welcome connection. It was a lot of fun to make that connection. It's hard to put picks out every week, to the point that some on our staff don't do that. Our staff, the Coyote Football Network, don't do that. But the reality is that he does that. He does that, and he does it every week, and he does it from small schools.
It's like 2A through 6A.
Yeah, I mean, he does it all the way to the biggest schools. And
the girth of knowledge you have to have, so all the people that watch our show, they're like, oh, man, how do you guys know this much about? And it's like, well, we're only talking about one district.
Yeah, we get
right?
one
and
district.
we don't dive into everybody else until we get to that point in the postseason or offseason. So we do deep dives around who we're playing, but imagine covering that many people.
No.
And still only picking Anna twice in 18 years.
Come on, man.
I know he's gonna come. If he sees it, he's gonna come and meme that and hey, until you come and I get to meet you. Maybe we'll see each other at an East basketball game or something, and we'll get the opportunity to shake hands. But that's my peripheral to the game. Listen, I think that's enough off the top from us.
Let's go.
Should we talk about the offense?
Let's do it.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, we offer banking solutions to help you through any season of life, from no-fee checking to our mobile app for easy on-the-go banking. From instant issue, tap-to-pay debit cards to Click Switch, used to quickly, securely transition automated payments and direct deposits from one account to another, and much more. For your family, for your business, come home to Farmers Bank and Trust.
All right. Well, here we are. We're going to talk a little bit. We had some offense.
Yeah.
Like, we had some offense. I think we had some trouble late in the game, but early in the game there was no trouble. It was literally just all gas. 20 for 29. Zyondre Williams had. I mean, look, all said and done, the guy had statistically a pretty good game. I mean, by all rights, you put these numbers up against anybody. These are great numbers. 20 for 29, 380 total yards in the air with 5 touchdowns. 5 of them. His completion percentage was 69%, right, with no turnovers.
To me, that's the big thing on the night.
Somebody's like, no, he threw an interception. No, there was a penalty, and so that interception didn't count.
He threw the interception because there was a defensive pass interference literally holding the guy.
Right. He had a long pass of 63.
Yep. To go with 51 and 48 and
he had several massive
Yeah.
passes on the night. 13 carries because he wasn't done with throwing. He's going to carry the ball. In fact, at half, he was the leading rusher in the game.
He was the leading rusher in the game for us, period.
Okay. No, I mean in the game. Going into half, he was the leading rusher.
Okay.
But coming out of half,
Okay,
coming out of the
I got
game,
you.
it
I'm with you.
changed.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you.
13 carries for Zy for 66 yards.
Yeah.
5.1 yards per carry for him in the game with a long of 19 yards. And, Zy's going to do what Zy does. It's the same thing we say about guys like Cam or Hayes. These guys who are competitors that have that heart, that have that drive, they have that passion, they're going to get theirs. They're going to find ways to get theirs. And so we end up with, and I think it was 440 something yards. We have 443. It could be four. Last night I remember reading something around 446, but give or take a couple yards, 440 total yards of offense Zy accounts for, and 5 touchdowns. So 11 stickers. 11 stickers.
468 is what our stat team walked away with.
Okay, so a little discrepancy here and there, but
Well,
look,
like that's
I
because
think
Ace had some rushing yards.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
big game, man. 5
Yeah.
touchdowns, 380 yards. Like that's good.
You
That's good.
you need your primetime players to show up in primetime games, right? Like you talk about it all the time. This is, like in the NBA, it's a star-driven league. In the NFL, it's a star-driven league, right? Like we saw it on Thursday night with Jamar Chase just getting absolutely peppered with targets. And, Zy had one of those styles of games. Another guy who had that kind of level of game is number 5, White Lightning. Hey, they tried to bottle up Mr. Lightning over there, and they could not do it. There was no lightning in a bottle, man. It was just lightning all over Prosper all night long. All the Facebook weathermen were just sending out alerts as storms were brewing over Children's Health Stadium. Michael Kennedy, you're going to walk away with 10 stickers on the night. We thought last week was awesome when he had like 3 for 159 and 3 touchdowns. Tonight he's like, hang on, hold up. 7 receptions for 161 yards, 4 tutties, an average of 23 yards per reception, and explosive plays of 51 and 48. And the only reason he didn't have 5 touchdowns is because on our first drive that ended in a field goal, and we've seen the clips now from multiple angles, he beats the DB and they grab his right arm and pull it back, and he has to adjust to that to try and get his hands back out. And that's the reason he dropped the first touchdown pass. Yeah. Like I'm not a Monday morning like quarterback excuse type of guy. I don't make a ton of excuses, but that one was a pass interference, and it threw off his timing to get his hands there. He'll still feel like he should have caught it, but that was touchdown number 5 in his midst. If not for a pass interference penalty that didn't get thrown, it's okay. But 7 for 161, 4 touchdowns is incredible.
I'm just gonna say, got to talk with him just briefly, like 2 seconds before the game. And as he's walking by, he looks at me and goes, 4. I'm getting 4 this week. I don't know, Michael Kennedy. I'm just saying, I think every week you need to make a prediction because you had a great night. 161 yards is pretty incredible on 7 receptions. That ratio is amazing.
Maybe he'll get 5 next week on our march to score 84.
Score 84 is on the way, fellas.
But Michael Kennedy, what a night, young man.
Yeah.
Like he has been a breath of fresh air to this offense. He's kind of we talked about early in the season, man, it feels like we're figuring things out. We're stuck in the mud a little bit at times, maybe on offense, and he like
and
it continued
had that
to be
last night. We did have that last night. Like we're not gonna like try to put lipstick on a pig. Like
I know, but
we started slow.
But my point is right. My point is that Michael Kennedy is a huge part in getting him back to our offense looking much better.
Yeah.
right? He's a huge part to having that dynamic part of our offense to where, like, when he's on the field, it bends the defense, right? And they have to put people over the top or he's going to take the top off the defense.
Yep.
And so having him out there is such a huge benefit. So Michael Kennedy, man, you got two Giant fans sitting behind this desk right now.
Yeah,
what an awesome game you had on Friday night.
This guy was no slouch either.
Yeah.
He wasn't a slouch. Last week, this year he is continuing to take steps in the right direction. Look, he got a lot of shade thrown at him in the game. I heard boos, I heard frustration, I heard a lot of stuff because of penalties, but this is Keyshawn's first legitimate year and playing in this level of football. It's pretty impressive what this young man has done. Yeah. Look, fans, you got to understand history. You got to understand what's going on around you and what these players are doing. This kid's a court guy. Like, he's a basketball guy. That's where he's been on the hardwood first, and he's making this transition to receiver and making it this way. Last night, 5 for 109 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
And a big touchdown. Like, a big one. 63-yard, broke it, took it to the house. Like, it was good. He's got top-end speed. His IQ, his football IQ is catching up to his athletic ability. This kid is doing everything he can to help his team. And it's clear, like, he's putting everything out there to try to help his team. Does he not make every play? Of course not, because he's just a kid, right? Every kid misses a play every now and then. So let's take a deep breath. Let's look at what Keyshawn is. He's a 4 sticker getter this week.
Yeah,
that's what he is for those 5 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown with the explosive play and the average of 21.8. Like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
bam, baby, let's go.
Man, he's that other part of that outside threat that is just awesome.
And I like the kid, man. Like, genuinely, he's a likable kid. He's respectful. Look, there's some that you can get in situations where you're hanging around kids who don't look you in the eye, don't have respect, don't know how to handle themselves in front of an adult, and that's not key. That is not hit. Man, this kid is top notch in every way. He's becoming, I think, a premier wide receiver, and I give that to you, my man. Four stickers doesn't feel like enough, but it's what you did earn, and so we're gonna give you 4, man. Those are yours. Good work.
There you go. All right, our last guy on the offensive side of the ball, number 7, Ace Traylor. You're gonna walk away with 1 sticker on the night. Another guy feels like it probably should be more with the load that he's handling. He had 10 rushes for 24 yards, so kind of. That's like that's it. But trying to take some of the pressure off Zai and tough runs that he was making all night long. But you're gonna get your sticker. You had 4 catches for 54 yards for an average of 13.5 yards per reception, and you had that explosive play of 34 yards where Walnut Grove brought 5 or 6, and Ace just kind of runs a little out route to the flat as a pressure release valve, and Zai hits him with it, and he makes the guy miss, and he's kind of off and he gets hit on like the second, third level of the defense and ends up dragging about 3 Walnut Grove defenders with him. And they finally get him down after a 34-yard gain. I think that's the one that set up Michael Kennedy's Randy Moss touchdown where he reached over the guy. I think that may have been on the same drive, but either way, Ace, you're going to get the sticker on the night for that explosive play of 34 yards. Man, you battled your heart out on Friday night, brother, and I'm so glad that you are in Coyote Purple each and every week.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't talk about Michael Kennedy's catch in the end zone.
Oh, yeah. He had so many.
Well, yeah, he did. He had a lot of, but I mean, I know it's not Ace here, but I mean, you mentioned Michael Kennedy there.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a weird spot for the Kennedy highlight, but
sure.
I feel like we've got to mention it in the offensive side. It was just, I mean, look, everybody that was taking film on my side, whether that was the DFW guys, the Texas high school football, the whatever, all of them, every single one. WFA had a cameraman down there. They were all in that same boat. They were all having that same thought. During that catch, everybody's eyes got huge, right? And everybody's mouth, their jaw dropped.
Yeah.
Because the concentration involved in that moment was at an all-time high. It was really impressive. And I know we at least got a clip of it, so it was worth mentioning and coming back to
100%.
Before we got out of this segment. So Michael Kennedy, Keyshawn, Ace, they're shaping up to be a pretty powerful threesome when it comes to wide receivers, and I don't think we've taken the lid off that yet.
No, and we didn't even mention Cormon. He finished, I think, 1 yard short of an explosive play reception. It was literally 1 yard short, and the standard's the standard for a reason.
And let's
and
talk
Rowan
about Cormon.
coming back. Yeah.
We gave Keyshawn a little bit of a look. These are not excuses; these are realities. Like I'm not giving these kids excuses. We said this up in the booth. If a ball hits you in the hands, what's the expectation?
Catch it.
You're catching it. It's like kickers. We're tough on Dez. We're tough on that crew. 100% is the expectation. And there's it's not 95, it's not 98.9, it's 100%, period. That's it, end of story. Something hits you in the hands, it doesn't matter what's happening. You got to catch it. And Cormon had some drop balls last night, right? And he's young, so he's got time to figure this out. So, yeah, you look at what we're staring at in terms of a wide receiver core. Last year, when everybody graduated, we thought, what in the world are we going to do? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to Anna's offense? We don't have wide receivers. We've got Rowan and we've got Ace, and we need who's going to fill in the gaps? Is it going to be Michael Kennedy? And that's 3, right? But we need 4. Who are they going to? And we end up having 4 pretty studly wide receivers, dudes who can get the job done, that are playmakers. Just happens that 2 of them, one is young in experience and one is young.
Yeah.
And so maybe in the end, I think a little bit of our youth showed off last night. Yeah. In terms of you got to see that we're a little younger than maybe some of these other teams that are out there.
Yeah, not watching the ball all the way in until you've secured it and turning your head upfield, things like that. And that's to your point where, we still see moments where we see the high-octane, high-flying, Coach Parr, Coach Rigg offenses that we've come to know and love, and we see it's in there, and that's why it can become frustrating when all of a sudden it disappears because of concentration plays, because of focus plays, because of discipline, things like that. Not that they're causing problems on the field, but just like discipline to just let me do my job right here and take what's given to me and not try to hit the home run every time.
Yeah, and look, that we're in the minutia a little bit, right? We're in the weeds, but that's where we're supposed to be. The other side of this is reminding ourselves that we're fighting for talent. Our coaches are coaching up talent, whether it's young or inexperienced. They're coaching these guys up. The other side of this is that Walnut Grove is not a small school.
No,
it is not a small. Their depth showed up a little bit last night as they are probably prepared to make a jump. They're probably going to skip the whole 5A classification.
They're going to 6A.
They're going to 6A.
They're going to 6A.
And we've got to perform against that level of competition, period.
Yes.
But that's I think what we saw was a little bit of depth on their part.
Yeah.
When now all that being said too, it's like we saw a little bit of depth, but man, they know where their bread is buttered to the point where they took 2 timeouts to make sure that one was in the game.
Yeah.
Because they know, and credit them.
There's a reason that young man Cam Newton holds like 13 or 14 different Division I offers by himself, and to top end like Ivy League schools nonetheless. Like that's also a bright young man.
Yeah.
So when you put the talent of an athlete and that level of a mind in him where he can just think through things, it's going to cause some problems. But hey, listen, that's our offense.
That's it.
Let's talk about our defense.
Let's go.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, we offer banking solutions to help you through any season of life, from no-fee checking to our mobile app for easy on-the-go banking. From instant issue, tap-to-pay debit cards, to Click Switch, used to quickly, securely transition automated payments and direct deposits from one account to another, and much more. For your family, for your business, come home to Farmers Bank and Trust.
All right, well, I'm going to bring him in. Number 1, Izzy Johnson. Listen, he's going to continue to be tested. Izzy, you're going to walk away with 2 stickers on the night. You had 3 total tackles, but you had 2 pass breakups, 1 over the middle early in the game, and then 1 on a screenplay where you just fought over the top of the block as you came from the outside and got your hand in there and knocked it away. Both of those were really timely pass breakups, and I say he's going to continue to be tested because he's admitted it himself. Right, when teams see a 5-6 corner lineup, they're going to say, hey, we want to just test him deep. And for the most part, Izzy held up last night. There were a couple of plays where his hips got turned around, and I thought he actually took a smart defensive holding penalty for only 10 yards rather than he got his hips turned around and reached out and grabbed the guy instead of letting him have a free run down the field. the way the high school football rules are written, that's a smart defensive holding penalty. Take the 10 versus the 40 every single day of the week. And so Izzy, you held up pretty well last night, I felt like. So you're going to walk away with 2 stickers, 3 total tackles, 2 pass breakups on the night, brother. You continue to record PBUs each and every game, and I can't wait to see you get that pick and show off your speed and athleticism towards the end zone. It's going to come at some point. It's coming. Maybe in our Score 84 week coming up soon.
Hey, let's go.
Mention number 2.
I'm going to talk about number 2, Corday Young. Big fella. Look, big dude on that defensive line. Look, you walk off the bus, you know this is going to be a different game. You know he's going to be a difference maker. At what level? And 3 stickers worth. That's the level this week. 5 total tackles for Corday this week. A tackle for loss, a QB hurry, and a big fumble recovery. Not the big, but a big fumble recovery for Corday. Corday has a way about him. He continues each week to unlock a little bit more. We've talked about this before. Unlock that next level.
Yep.
Right, Corday, you're not there. You're getting there. You're moving in the right direction. There's growth every week. We see it. Mm-hmm. This week you're going to get 3 stickers: the tackle for loss, QB hurry, and a fumble recovery. But man, I'm starting to see that violent defensive end style play. It's starting to come out. We see glimpses of it to where it's like, oh. Mm-hmm. It just catches you. It's like, oh man, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna leave a mark. And that's the kind of play that we need out of a kid like Corday Young.
Yeah,
he's got to instill fear, especially as a DN. He's got to instill that fear. And I think last night he had moments of that, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. By the way, he was very clearly ticked as he left the locker room last night. I kind of hung around, and the line for the cars out the parking lot was so long. I was just like, I'm just going to go and stand by the locker room and say bye to all these athletes. And Corday was one of the most ticked, and I hope that's a sign of things to come for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, number 8. We're going to talk about you on the defensive side of the ball, brother. You're going to get 1 sticker for defense. I think Zai may have had the hardest hit on Hayes Hackney all night long. You had 2 total tackles, and you had that QB hurry at the end of the half where you hit him in the midsection as he was going to throw the ball and just cause the ball to flutter, harmlessly to the ground at the end of it. But you delivered a hit, and I saw Hayes go down, and I was like, oh, what a hit. And then I saw who was getting up hitting him, and I was like, no way was that our quarterback, man. That was some quarterback-on-quarterback violence.
QB on QB crime right there, man.
I said it on the broadcast last night, if he wasn't a D1 level quarterback, I think he'd be a D1 level DB because he's got the athleticism and feel for the game. And I think being a quarterback helps that feel for the game as a DB. But this is just a kid that can step on both sides of the ball and be a difference maker. And Zai, you showed that towards the end of the half when you came in at DB because of some of our guys getting some cramps and things like that.
Well, and people want to talk about, why isn't our coaching staff doing more? Why aren't they doing this or why aren't they? Look, I think they're trying to do a lot. I think they're trying to figure out every answer, right? You're putting in number 8 comes in on defense, right? And he wasn't the only one. I think we saw Keyshawn there towards the end of the game, to the end of the half, maybe number 6. Yeah, end of the half.
Yeah.
He and Zai came in together on a defensive package. So they're scheming. They're looking at what's been given to them, and they're doing their very level best with it. And seeing Zai on the defensive side of the ball it's a reminder of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm going to go in. We're going to talk about number 11.
Come on now.
Let's go. I like this kid too, man. Number 4, 4 stickers. Number 11, 11 tackles. He got the same amount of tackles as his number. You were second on the team this week for tackles, double digits. You had a tackle for loss. You had 2 QB hurries. Jaden's another kid that is continuing to progress in front of us.
Yeah.
He's committed to Arizona. I think you just get that sense, that feeling like he's playing to show him, look, you made a good choice. I'm your guy. Like I'm the real deal. I am legit. And look at his play. His play was good this week. It was good. 11 total tackles, second on the team. That's good. Mm-hmm. A tackle for loss, 2 hurries. You're disrupting in the backfield. You have the ability to do things that other guys just simply don't. And when you make your presence known, Jaden, it changes a game.
100%.
Changes the game.
100%, man. It was real cool. He gave a great pregame interview before that our Walnut Grove game, and we finally got him to talk about himself a little bit. He's such a humble dude that he's always deflecting, pointing back to teammates, which you love.
He said it in that interview. I don't want to be about me. I don't want to talk about me. You know.
But we just flat asked him.
Yeah.
Who are you on the field and who are you off the field? Like, tell us.
Yeah.
Let the Coyote fans know, and he great answer. Right? He let him know who he was.
Yeah, you can check those out.
Man of God. Mother raised him right.
Oh, so you're just gonna tip it?
Like he was awesome.
I was gonna tease it. You're gonna tell him. Look at you. I'm like, go check out our other.
That's not all of
our
it.
other video.
That's not all of it. He probably gave about a minute and a half.
He did a good
answer
job.
on that
He
one.
really did.
Our next guy, the Tsunami, number 15, Ryan Sasumi. You're going to walk away with a sticker on the night. You had 4 total tackles, and you had 1 tackle for a loss. I feel like you were kind of always around the ball. You were holding running lanes pretty well and holding your gap assignments pretty well. There's a reason that, yes, Cam Newton ran the ball 43 times, but there's a reason that he averaged under 4 yards per carry. And that's because our front 7, like, for the most part, did a pretty nice job. I know Cam ended up getting his touchdowns and receptions and things like that. That's going to happen with a player of his caliber. But to hold him to under 4 yards per carry when he's averaging like 11 yards per carry on the season, that's a pretty big accomplishment. And Ryan Sasumi, you are part of that. So you're going to walk away with a sticker on the night, brother. Great job.
Great job. I'm going to talk about JoJo, number 17. Look, JoJo, we ended last year on a high with JoJo.
Yep.
Like, it was – the trajectory for him was off the charts. I think he's, battled a little bit of injury.
Yep.
Right? Come back from that tonight, or last night, rather. He's going to get 2 stickers, 5 total tackles, a pass breakup, and an interception. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night. But I'm going to say this. I think there's another level.
I agree.
I think there's another level. I don't know if he's tapped into it yet. Or what? Now's the time, though. Like, these guys, for many of them, there's another level. We've been talking about that with several of them today. There's another notch on that belt. I don't know what it's going to take for these guys to get to that notch, to have to tighten down, but whatever it takes, distractions or otherwise, like whatever's going on, be single-minded, be focused here on out, and take that next step. But JoJo, 2 stickers. Good night. There was some good hits. Some really good things, and that's the kind of play we're going to have coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to score 84.
That interception, yes. 3. That interception, by the way, was incredible. That was like a center fielder tracking a ball over their shoulder and like laying out to catch. That was impressive. That was back to, I know JoJo played baseball.
He did. Yeah.
And so that's kind of a shout out back to JoJo's baseball days.
I mean, it was fingertips too.
How he held that through the ground, I don't know. That was pretty cool.
That's why I'm certain JoJo played some outfield in his time. Had to have. So.
Yeah. Number 25, Cash. Money.
Let's go.
Williams. You're going to get 3 stickers on the night, brother. You led the team with 12 total tackles. You had 10 solo, 2 assisted. But we put all of those together because we think like you guys are taught to hunt as one, right? To hunt as a pack. And so to get 12 tackles is a big deal.
Yeah. Is that the first time he's led?
I don't know if it's the first time he's. I think he's tied for the lead.
I think he's tied for the lead, but this is the outright lead this week.
Yeah,
and I think that's the first time he's had the outright lead in tackles this season.
I
love it. By the way.
He's been insane this year. He's continued. He's another guy. Every game, I feel like he's getting better. We left our state championship season being like, all right, well, what's up for our linebacking core? And the answer was Cash Williams, and he moved around from linebacker to defensive end to inside to outside. Like, he was kind of moving around last year as they were trying to figure out where's the best place for Cash, and he's kind of in that outside linebacker rusher role, and man, has he found his groove a little bit. 12 total tackles, a tackle for a loss, and a QB hurry. It's very clear that when the opposing QBs see Cash Williams coming and potentially about to break through the line, they are going to sprint the other way. Right. They're going to roll out the other way.
They don't want to get stomped by Quadzilla.
No, they don't.
He told me, by the way, pregame in the locker room, I called him Quadzilla. I'm like, I don't hear that as much this year. He goes, no. He goes, I do. He goes, I had a college coach called me up at one point and said, hey, Quadzilla, what's up? I was like, oh, shut up, dude. He goes, yeah. He goes, you have no clue how much that travels and how far that's gotten out. But it's good to see him up there. Yes. I mean, this is something he's been grinding for. I think is to be able to lead the team in this way. When you get solo lead tackles, like 12 of them, it's a double-digit, good day. Like, this is what I love to see Cash Williams do. This is what he's got to do. It has to happen. So you talk about the linebacker core. Right, we've got Cash Williams, Ryan Sasumi, another guy who's stepped up this year. Brennan Williams, number 30, is a guy who's going to get a sticker today. 7 total tackles and a tackle for loss for him. Another dude who is stepping up. Smart, very intelligent, like understands the defensive scheme. He's a little field general. Like he's got that ability to kind of help guys get to where they need to go so that they're functioning at their best. And I think that's just another piece of this puzzle, right? Whether it's Cash or Ryan or any of these guys. I know JoJo's playing a lot of safety, but Brennan steps in, and I thought he had quietly a very nice game.
Yes. Yeah, he was kind of all over the field. He was doing his thing once again. Like you said, going deep in coverage and coming down to the line of scrimmage and sideline to sideline. Brennan's continuing to get better as well. Number 31, it feels good to have this man back on the defensive side of the ball, and you can tell he's starting to feel healthy.
Yeah. Austin
Crowley was dealing with a hamstring injury early in the season, missed our first 3 games because of it. Came back for Melissa, and you could tell he wasn't you're never 100% when you first come back from injury. You're not at game speed yet. You're not used to it. He's getting in the groove. Austin Crowley's going to get 2 stickers. He was 3rd on the team with 10 total tackles and a tackle for a loss. By the way, that is, if you're keeping track at home, that is our top 3 tacklers all had double-digit tackles, 10, 11, and 12. That's
there were a lot of plays in this game.
There were a lot of plays, and Austin Crowley continuously found himself around the ball at all times. So you're going to walk away with 2 total stickers. AC continues to get healthy, continues to get more comfortable. Can't wait to see what the next 3 weeks holds for him.
Bassett Addison, number 33, is another guy who found his way into this. 3 tackles on the night, a tackle for loss. This is a kid whose name that we've said consistently now over the last 3 weeks, to the point where I had to go find him and be like, I need to put a name and a face together.
Yeah.
Remind me your first name. I knew his number. I knew Addison, but I couldn't remember his first name. And we, you had gone and spent the time to track down how to say his name. And so it was great to make that connection with him. 3 total tackles on the night. You're getting a sticker for your performance. So congratulations, Bassett. A great game.
Yeah, sophomore, by the way, number 55. We like to call out when people are like freshmen, sophomores, juniors.
For
We
sure.
know we're going to see the following season as well. Number 55, Quan Young, the big man in the middle, had a couple of snacks on the night. You had 4 total tackles. You had that big tackle for a loss where they handed the ball off to Cam, and you were there immediately, and it was just like, nah.
He one-armed him.
Yep.
I almost got it, but a ref ran right in front of me as the play was taken. I'm like, why?
By the way, one of our favorite guys that we watch on YouTube, or that like last season when we were learning our camera settings and how to do all that stuff, he has a shirt that says, "Move ref, I'm trying to film the game."
Right.
That's why I feel like we need to get you sometime.
Right. I mean, the worst timing, man. But he just reached out an arm. I think Cam weighs what, 160 something.
He's like 185.
Is he 185?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
On his Twitter he puts like 185. So I'm going to take him at his word on his
fair enough.
X bio.
185. But when you're coming up against Quan,
you look like you're 155.
You look like you're 155, and Quan made him. I mean, he just grabbed him. I mean, literally, one arm at the top of the body came through, and it looked like almost like a clothesline. It wasn't, because he got him up here, and just his feet went right out from underneath him. And what an incredible tackle, Quan. Yeah. That was fun to watch, man.
Yeah, and then he also had the QB hurry on the night. So Quan, you're going to walk away with 2 stickers, brother. You continue to be a force on the interior. You continue to take up, 2 gaps at once, just with how much attention you require.
Well, another attention getter is number 90.
Come on.
Caden Banks.
Come on, give it to us.
Look, here we go. First of all, I'm going to say it, 4 tackles. You're going to get 4 stickers. 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a quarterback hurry, and he got a sack. The soul snatcher.
That's what
doing what he does. Coming for that soul. And he did, man. It's so fun to watch him. When he's doing what he loves to do, he gets at it, bro. Like, he has so much fun, and it's contagious. Look, Caden's one of those guys that will step up in a moment and make a play that makes the rest of the team go, ooh, I got to rise up. I got to get my game. I got to get back to that next level, because Caden has the ability to change a game like that. There are a couple times during the game last night, I'm sitting there just like, I can't remember who was standing next to me. I'm like, we need somebody to be the playmaker here. Like, this is a moment where we need a playmaker. We desperately need that guy. Caden is one of those guys capable of doing that.
Yep.
Right? 4 stickers, Caden. Great night. congratulations on the stickers, man.
All right, and then last but not least, for our defensive side of the ball, number 99, Draylon McMahon is going to get a sticker. You're showing up once again for the second week in a row, making the most of his snaps. We talked about it last week, how he's really starting to show himself. And so, Dre, you're going to walk away with a sticker on the night for your QB hurry. You got in there and got pressure, and you did a great job all night long. And so a sticker on the night, man. Dre, great dude. We love seeing him every Sunday at service, and we love getting to see him in the indoor. And man, he's a really good human being, and he's shown himself to start to be a little bit nasty on the football field at times. And I love it. It couldn't come at a better time as we close out, get to the closing part of our schedule now, and especially as we come to our Score 84 week. Draylon McMahon is going to walk away with a sticker. Number 99, brother. We see you. Great job. Hey, that's the defense.
Let's talk some special teams.
Let's do it.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, we offer banking solutions to help you through any season of life. From no-fee checking to our mobile app for easy on-the-go banking. From instant issue, tap-to-pay debit cards to click switch, used to quickly, securely transition automated payments and direct deposits from one account to another. And much more. For your family, for your business, come home to Farmers Bank and Trust.
All right, here we go, guys. Special teams. We've already talked. I'm still laughing after the break.
We may or may not have been laughing through the commercial break,
Yes.
and the answer is we were.
We were absolutely 100%. So we've already talked about the standard for this. We talk about it every week. The standard is perfection, right?
Yeah.
We only, when it comes to kicking, we only reward perfection. Say what you will, right? But the reality is that's what's expected of kickers.
Yes.
5 for 5 on extra points.
Yep.
So the extra point unit, the kicking team, is going to get one sticker as a whole. So they're all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you want to roll the next one? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Field goal unit goes in with that too. And they were 1 for 1 on field goals. So as a unit, they're going to end up with two stickers as a whole. So great night. Dez continues to do what Dez is supposed to do. The touchback merchant, still getting his touchback, still kicking the ball, still doing what's asked of him when it's asked of him.
We just needed one more touchback from him to get that touchback merchant sticker.
I know, we were close.
It was the end of the half, and I said it. Hey, they're going to put a returner back there, so you got to get it 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he shame on him. He only kicked it 62 yards.
Right.
If I could ever kick it 62 yards,
if I could kick it 6 yards, bro,
I'd walk away with a strained groin and hamstring and all of that.
Des, what are the odds that I can kick 6 or more yards? That's what I want to know. I want you to tell me what you think I could kick it more than 6 yards. That's all I'm asking.
I'd love when we do this commentator combine.
Gosh, you keep pushing that like I'm going to do it.
I'm going to push it. I'd love for these kids to set an over-under and just let's see if we can meet it. Hey, how far does I think we could throw the ball?
Oh, no.
Over-under, and he sets it at 30 yards or whatever. Let's see.
Oh, no way. I couldn't throw 30 yards if my life depended on it, bro.
Yeah.
I'd be dead.
Well, hey, and then our last special teams sticker. I know at some point this weekend, Coach Rod is going to text me be like, hey, I've got some extra ones. We're filming this early on Saturday morning because we have our Rise Men's Conference.
I like this play, by the way.
So this is our recollection of stickers. So there may be a couple more that come out in envelopes during the week, but just know this is off the top of our head. Number 31, Austin Crowley, you're going to get a sticker on the special team side of the ball for your incredible punt coverage. You literally fought through. They threw the flag, and it was a flag. It was a hold, a block in the back, whatever they called. But you literally fought through it. That was when we punted the ball from our own 2-yard line, and you made a giant tackle where it could have been phenomenal field position, and it was still good.
Yeah.
But instead of them getting the ball at the 20-yard line, because you were the only one down there, you fought through a block, you made the tackle you needed to make on the punting unit. They got the ball. It would have been the 36, and after the 10-yard penalty that you fought through is at the 46-yard line, and so you made them work more than they thought they were going to have to work after we punted the ball from the 2. And so Austin Crowley, you're getting a sticker for your incredible hustle on that punt coverage.
Yeah, it was incredible. Those are the kind of plays that you need to see out of these units. You need to see those guys stepping up, right, responding to big moments. It's a reminder. It's a reminder to the other guys. Look, it's just a moment.
Yeah.
It's just a moment. Go execute. Go do what's in front of you. Go do the thing you're supposed to do. Doesn't matter how many people are yelling. It doesn't matter what the score is. You have a job in front of you. Just go do your job. You can take the emotion out of it by just focusing on the fact that I have a job to do. Austin Crowley put crosshairs on a dude and just said, that's my target. Right, and the self-guided missile system just he got lock, he got tone lock, and then whack, he went at him, and dude, it was cool. All the guys around me were like, oh, block in the back, hold.
Yep.
So that was right there. It was clear when it happened what was going on, and Austin executed so well. And it's like I say, he's another kid that is so good. Right, his head is in the right place, and when you see these kids succeeding right at their job and doing their job well, it's not hard to encourage them. You know, people were like, what are you going to say on the stat show this week? I'm going to do what we always do on this show. I'm going to encourage these kids.
It's not our first time recording after a loss.
Right. I'm going to encourage these kids for the hard work they put in.
Yeah.
I'm going to encourage these kids for the plays they made, because that game doesn't get to where it is without them making plays.
Yes.
Right. Now, look, in the end, we didn't get the outcome we wanted. You know, the other side made more plays than we did, and that's the bottom line. But that didn't mean we didn't make them. So, you know, credit to Austin, credit to these guys for earning these stickers, for going out and doing the job in front of them. That's all you can do. You can't worry about, if you're a defensive player, you can't worry about and get twisted about what the offense does or doesn't do. If you're on special teams,
Vice versa.
right? Yeah, you can't be. All you got to worry about is your plays, doing your job, and doing it to the very best of your ability.
Think about Eddie Penny, the 3-foot reality.
Yep.
Control the 3 feet in front of and around you. Right, that's a special forces kind of mindset, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna control my 3-foot world, and that's what you have to do in there. And I think Coach Rigg, I heard him say this, and he puts it in perspective last night. Tough loss. Everybody's kind of down a little bit, and he's like, well, and he's upset about the loss. But he goes, the sun's still gonna come up tomorrow. We're still gonna have a chance to go play football next week. We still have a chance to get better.
Yep.
So with that being said, we're on to next week.
Time to move on, man.
Back home in the Den. The
Let's come home.
name of the home of the Coyotes is the Den. So if it's not Coyote Stadium, it's the Den. That's where the Coyotes live. We don't need any other cute monikers, but we're back home in the Den against Denison. It is what week?
Score 84.
And if you can't handle that, you're too sensitive to hear us joking and talking up young men, turn off the channel.
Look, I got him doing it.
I don't care.
I got him doing it.
I don't care. Hey, by the way, I'm really good at what I do for a living.
Woo, let's go.
So don't come up to me after the game and be like, I can't believe you predicted that, and like you're going to be a terrible referee. No, I'm good at what I do. Like I'm gonna stand up and just be like, I'm good at what I do, and if you can't take a joke, get up out of here. You can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
Right.
You can't take two guys celebrating their students and like having fun. And by the way, I never predicted that we were going to score 84. I predicted we were going to score 84 offensive points. I think I predicted we were going to score like 5 defensive touchdowns, 4 special teams, 8 field goals. I think all said and done, I predicted 158 points.
We need to make new T-shirts.
If you think I realistically was going to predict we were going to score 158 points, you need to check your ability to take a joke.
Check yourself.
So he's probably watching and like is all up in his feels again. Don't care. Don't care. It's score 84 week. We're going to have some fun. We're back home. What time is kickoff, Phil?
7:30.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's when we like to kick off.
Oh, yeah. Gives everybody time to get home from work and get settled in and get some time to get here for 6:30 Coyote Walk.
6:30 Coyote Walk. We got tailgate at 5:30. We got all the festivities. We're coming home. You know, it's going to feel good after being on the road, right? Getting back to home, getting back to our crowd, getting back to the fun zone, as Coach Parr likes to say. You know, everybody's so scared of loud football environments. I'll tell you this. I went to Red River Rivalry this last game.
Sure
and let me just tell you, our boys, if they expect to play at the next level, have to play in volume that is nowhere near what we're kicking out in high school. We just don't have the number of people to make the kind of noise that they're playing in. And the fact that these guys are coddling these teams with noise is amazing to me. Like, you are not preparing them for anything. The reason we do interviews with our young man, the reason that we want a loud stadium, the reason that all these things, I mean, Coyote you ask about the U in the middle of our field. This is why it's there. We're trying to raise champions, not coddle people according to what their desires are and what their wishes are. Yes, I'm ranting, and I see you looking at me like I've gone crazy, but I'm
No.
not crazy. This is the kind of stuff that I think makes a difference in the end. If a young man can graduate high school having played in some of the most, I'm trying to think of the hostile environments, right? They're going to be better for it. They're going to understand what it takes to lock in, to be focused enough to be able to communicate when there's no way to communicate other than reading hand signals and looking at and running back and forth and, doing the extras. It prepares these men for that next level of their life.
Hard things sharpen hard things. Soft things do not sharpen hard things.
Come to the fun zone. That's all I'm saying. We're going to have fun this week.
No,
Vuvuzelas back out in full
Yep.
force. It's going to be great.
By the way, I'm smiling because we started the top of this episode with you with you preaching a sermon. We ended it with you preaching a sermon. It was both of them were awesome, timely, and good, and right on point. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you want to take us out?
All right, it's going to be the same thing we do every week. Coyotes on, go Coyotes. Go Coyotes on 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Coyotes.